Alright guys, this is Venture. This plane has been anticipated for a very long time now, and it is finally here. Um, so this plane is made from A4. It's very thick in the nose, like it has a very nice reinforced nose section, color change cockpit, reinforced leading edges, and very interesting tail fins. And it also has two air intakes, two afterburners, and retractable landing gear. As you can see, retractable landing gear, and it's a very original design of mine. A lot of the inspirations are from Jason himself, like with landing gear at the front, and to create these. Everything else is very original. I was actually going to use this plane as a showcase. I mean, it's just the same plane but different paper. But as you can see, it's way too shiny. It just makes it really disorientating to look at it. But here it is. It's just it's just the same airplane. And to retract the landing gears is very simple, but it's a very nice little process, because originally this was not my intention to make them like tuck in, because I was going to go with just simply inside reverse folding it like right here, but that kind of created some bumps here, and that and that could cause some drag. So I came up with a new solution that it just tucks right in, so you don't have to do any inside reverse folding or anything else, and it does actually stay pretty tightly. So yeah, so this is the Venture. It's made from an A4, and oh sorry, my wait. So let's just get right into the tutorial, and this is probably my most detailed plane, following up by the alpha version of this plane, which has four hard points, and that is my most detailed plane, following in front of this airplane here. But yeah, so for this model you need I would not recommend like your standard planer paper, because that is going to make the nose section very tight, like very thick, and it might tear. Don't use your standard planer paper. You could use like 70 grams, which is like notebook paper, and that's also the thickness of Canson marker paper, so you can use that. But I would not recommend going any thicker than that. You could use like 60 or like 50 grams, which is like origami paper, to 70. Other than that, would not recommend going any thicker. But if you have an 8.5 by 11 inch, I'm gonna show you just real fast how to convert it into the proportion of A4. So for this plane there's two different ways to do that. The first is just folding a diagonal. So you just fold a diagonal like so, and this is approximately an 8.5 by 11 inch proportion. So you fold like that, and then you go ahead and take this edge here and just fold that to that crease there, so like this. And after you've done that, you want to basically pay attention to this point, because you're going to flip it over and fold so that it touches that point there, and then you're going to fold over and just tear it off. Yeah, so that's the main version on how to do that. So I will show you the second version when we get to the tutorial, but for this that's just the minimal like folding you have to do to make it into an A4. So yeah. So for this plane, I'm going to use a sheet of very like foil paper, but we're gonna fold it on this side here, so it's gonna be like this is gonna be the main color. So yeah, so let's see here. So first you're just gonna fold it in half, and then you're gonna fold this edge to that edge, and then you're gonna squash fold it and just land it on top of here. It's very similar to the Star Alicer, because the base for this plane is people are going absolutely bananas trying to figure out this base. It's very simple. It's not like super complicated. Like fold open here and fold the top down, and here is, if you're using an 8.5 by 11, there will be extra paper down here, so you just go ahead and fold that up from there to there, and then you just tear it, and then you just tear it off. That's how you do that. So now let's just get into the tutorial. Okay, so now you flip it over and just fold from here to there, so just fold it straight over. I've already pre-creased just to make it a little bit like simpler and time consuming. Oh, yeah. Okay, you flip it over, and now you're just gonna fold this from this point down here from there. So you just take this. You can leave a little bit of a space, but not a lot. I wouldn't suggest you leave big space, just to leave a little space, just a little bit, because this plane can tear very easily at the front if you're not careful, or if you don't have a very strong paper. Okay, and you just do the same thing here. I recommend you unfold the other side first, just to relieve some tension on the front end, and it will stop the wrinkling. If you do it at the same time, one side can get a little bit wrinkled. So now you flip it over, you unfold that, and you flip it over once again, and you just collapse these sides in here like that, and you fold the top down like so, and that's basically the base. That's literally the base. It's very simple. Let me go ahead and zoom in a little bit here. Yeah, so that's literally just the base for this plane. Could go off frame sometimes, and I'm trying to get used to it, so sorry if that can happen sometimes. Just trying to find the perfect, like, yeah, around there is, here is fine. Yeah, okay, hold just a second. Okay, so now you flip it over, and we're just gonna create the cockpit section. Now, you guys were also very curious on how I made the cockpit section, and it's honestly pretty simple. I had to come up with a completely new like tail fin design for this cockpit to be successful. So yeah, so fold these two edges here to the center, like that. And like so. And what we're gonna do is just create a pedal fold basically from here to here. So you can start by pinching that side and then kind of gathering that side, and then kind of create a little point. See if we're able to, because it's a little tricky sometimes to get this perfect. So just kind of try your best, or as best as you can, like that. Okay, so now you're gonna fold these two to the center now, and you're only gonna be able to fold a little bit. So you just fold the inside there, and just repeat the same thing here. And now let's actually flip it over and squash fold these flaps here. Just land that on the middle. And just make sure you go all the way inside. Flip it over and just repeat the same thing here. And try to make sure that these here stay together and such. Alright. So now you flip it over again. You're just gonna continue this crease from there to there to down here basically. So you have to go in here and just fold up just like so. And just repeat here, like that. And now you're gonna fold these edges here to the line there. We are preparing for a spread squash basically. Oh, and I'm gonna adjust this a little bit because it wasn't exactly perpendicular to how it's supposed to be, because it's supposed to be a little more like that. That is my bad. Yeah, okay, so you just fold that to there. Same thing here, you fold that to that crease. And now we're basically gonna spread squash this thing here. So just kind of spread squash it, follow this first, so you know where to land the fold. Basically just land it right there, and just continue to kind of push out this paper there, like so. And it could kink here, so just be precise. If it starts to kink, then you might have to go in and refold it. So spread squash, put some tension here so it folds nicely, like that. And as you can see here, it started to kink here. So I'm just gonna real quick go in here, kind of pop it out, and just re-crease it like that. Okay, so now we can sink these two inside, and this is just to get rid of these flaps here. So you just go in and you kind of push on this here. You just push that in to the, push it to the inside, and just flatten it like that. Same thing here, just push it in. and flatten. Okay, so now we just fold this down as far as it will go, and it's basically just folding the tip here to this intersection there. And now we're just gonna prepare a cockpit. So you just fold this over, landing it on top of itself, like that. And now when you pop out here, make sure to pop out both. So this one and that flap there. Just fold this over that. Fold like that. And I'm sorry if I'm not like being very precise on the cockpit section. It's because this isn't too important to get like very precise, because you're able to kind of fix it, so it's fine. So you fold it over again, and now you just squash fold here, so like that. Squash fold it and just land it on the center. And now just fold this like so, and just fold these tabs over here, just like that, like that, and fold it down, and that's your cockpit section. So yeah, so now before we go any further, let's just get rid of these flaps here. So I'm going to fold it over here, and I'm just going to crease it down here and kind of sweep up here, and then I'm just going to fold it down like that. And I would suggest you leave a little space there to not put too much tension, and then you just flatten it over. Same thing here, and make sure you go to here, the inside here. So don't go to here. You just go like right under here. Sweep that out, fold that along the crease, and leaving a little space there at the nose to not tear it. Okay, flip it over. Right there. All right. So now we can flip it over, and what we're gonna do now is fold from this point down here. Really make sure that it hits that point perfectly. And same thing here, like that. And now we fold this back and we flip it over, and you want to go all the way into here. Now you might have to pop out just for the meantime. You might have to just tuck them under just for the time being, because you're going to fold from that point there all the way to the tip. So it's like a swivel fold, basically. So like that. And then you want to kind of flatten it like that. And this should go to right there. Like that. And you repeat the same thing here. You just kind of fold these flaps under for the time being. And fold that from the intersection all the way up to there. And kind of swivel that, or just kind of push it up like that. Okay. So let's give it a, let's take it a little bit more over here. So now we are going to just just kind of inside reverse fold it, not all the way to the tip, because if you do that, then it will most likely tear on the jet fold. So fold approximately the same as you did where you left this base before, and you're just gonna kind of push it into the center here. So you push it into the center like that. Make sure that it's right there, and then you can kind of pop out that for now. I hope I didn't go off frame there. No, okay, no, I don't think so. And you just repeat the same thing here. Now it's kind of hard to see, but you just turn it over and just see where you did on the other side. That's what I do, and then flatten to the center, and just let that kind of pop out like that, and flatten. So now, well, what we're gonna do now is create the air intakes. So it's relatively simple. You just gotta kind of swivel from this point to this point while you open up this flap. So you open up the flap here, and as you will see, you just fold that on the edge right there, and then you let this come together while you close it, and make sure that this touches the tip like that. And you just repeat the same thing here. Like that. And flatten. And while you're here, you just fold this edge to that edge. Like that. Same thing here. And then you just fold it over the edge. Sorry about that, it's very annoying. Like that. And now we are going to create a sort of a modified pedal fold here from there to there. So you just start out by kind of folding from there to the top like that, and just lay it up, and you take the other one and just lay it over. Now you could go ahead and just fold this inside here, but it makes it a little thicker than what it needs to be. So I mean, it's already very thick here. So what you're gonna do is just kind of swivel this down, well, basically like that. And same thing here, you just pop that out from in there, swivel this down, like that. And now let's just go ahead and fold these over, just to pre-crease the air intakes. and you just squash fold them. Like that. It's a very simple and efficient way if you have this like these flaps here. Then you're able to turn basically two things in one fold basically. So it's very efficient. Squash fold that, and you can leave it like that for now. So now we're gonna go ahead and create the wings now. So now what you can do is flip it over, and I would suggest, just to be safe, that you fold these two up from the flap underneath to there, because this will be basically this will make matching things a little bit easier on your eyes. Because what we're gonna do is basically fold from this crease here to the center, but sometimes you can't really rely on these if they're not symmetrical. So that's just like why we folded these two up, just to be safe. So you're basically gonna just fold like that, and basically what you're trying to do, yeah, as you can see, it touches there perfectly and it goes to the center, because that should make this parallel to here and this parallel to here. That's the objective, is you want these to be the same from there to there. And yeah, so you just repeat the same thing here. You just kind of fold it over to match that, like that. Yeah, just like so. And now you're just gonna fold this over the edge. I would leave a little tiny space, like a millimeter of a space or so, like that. Just the tiniest bit of space. And just, well, to make it easier, just kind of have to fold this back to here. So yeah, so just go ahead and do that. Just kind of fold this down back to here, because that makes it a little bit easier to kind of fold over like that and match it. So that's what I'm gonna do, is just match the other side. Yeah, just kind of match it. Be very careful whenever you match this, because sometimes you have to make sure that everything is spot on, basically, for this to be efficient, but that's fine. Okay. So now we can go ahead and just inside reverse fold it. So you fold in here, and you fold, and you just fold out again along here. Like that. Same thing here. Okay, so now we're gonna wanna flip it over, and we wanna just swivel out this part here from, basically, yeah, just basically swivel it out like that. and same thing here. Now you are going to fold this into thirds, but it's your choice to either do it on this side or the other side. Personally, I like the way that it has color here, so that to make that, you just fold it on this side, but then you have to do some extra folding here to get this to hold, to get this flap here to hold the shape, but we'll go over that. But if you want to make it as simple as possible, you just fold on this side. So yeah, but before we do that, let's go ahead and fold this up to there, and just insert a reverse fold it, just to strengthen it a little bit further, because you have to fold this in the thirds if you want this to be stable, and so, because if not, it's gonna be very wobbly, especially if you're trying to fly this plane, and if you're not using some kind of like stiff paper, then it's gonna wobble, and it's just gonna be, yeah, and it's gonna shorten the range. So just make sure you fold this in the thirds. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do it on this side, so fold this over. Don't really have to worry too much about this tip here, just as long as you get this to go inside there. Like that. And just repeat here. Fold it all the way in there. There we go. So now let's just fold this up just along the edge, like so, and then just fold this to there, like that. And before we go any further, let's actually go ahead and pre-crease a fold here. So you just want to fold this edge to the line here, like that. Just fold like so, and then you're gonna do the same thing, folding this edge to the line you just created, like that. This is just pre-creasing a step in the near future here in a second, like that. Okay, so now you're gonna go inside here, and you're just gonna fold along here, like so. Same thing here. And we're just gonna get ready to fold the landing gears and stuff. But now you can actually just go ahead and pop these back out, because we're going to fold from this point right here, using the flap here, fold from there all the way down to this point there, and it has to go exactly to that point. It can't be a little bit off, or it will completely ruin the shape of the landing gear. So really make sure it's dialed in, like that. And same thing here. Now it's probably gonna get a little bit harder to see because of the shine, so I'll try my best to make sure that it's clear, like the instructions are clear. Okay, so now we are going to fold using this bottom crease here. There's a few ways to do this fold, but this is just the quickest way that I found. So just fold and squash fold it right there to right down there. Just kind of squash fold it like that. Same thing here, squash it like that. And now you're just gonna fold this up, fold the whole thing up like that as far as it goes, just along the hinge here. And same thing here, just fold up like that. And fold it back and fold over here. So just fold like that. And same thing here, fold like this. And now we are going to bring these together basically. So hold, fold and hold here and just bring it in, and it should start to come together. You might have to do a little bit of adjusting on the inside, but generally that's it. You just kind of bring that over and flatten it, and that's basically how you do that. So that's that might be a little tricky, but it should look like this. Okay, so you do the same thing here, just bring it over, and that went pretty fast. Okay, so now let's go in and just fold these tabs here down, and this is just to color change the landing gear, and to also just keep this flap out of the way. So you basically fold it like that from there, just fold it over the edge, and same thing here. Now you could go ahead and just fold it straight over, but to make it simple, just kind of fold it over just on itself. Nope. Like that. Okay, so now we are almost done with the landing gears and the plane, two actually. So now you have this edge here from there to there. You're just gonna fold it up from behind, fold from that all the way to the tip. So it's a little kind of hard to see sometimes, but if you fold it, you'll start to see it like that, maybe a little more. Like so. And now here's the tricky part. You want to create the pocket that is going to slide, that is going to slide into, and you kind of have a reference to like where. So basically you can kind of see it. It's like this tiny little fold from there that goes to right there, and that's basically this fold here to down there. So basically you want to try to land it approximately. It's basically, I mean, you can go a little bit above that actually, so like here, so just about here. You don't want to go too far here because then it will be inside the plane and you can't really fold them in. So you have to hold it like that, and then you can sort of just kind of hold it down here and then kind of spread this a little bit just kind of spread it from there to yeah, from that point there, and just kind of let the paper kind of fold however it prefers. So like that. And you repeat the same thing here. So you just fold this over that edge to the tip, and just land it a little above that, I'd say, and just carefully squash for it. Try to match the other side. So from there to there, from there to there, like so. Like, sorry for the freaking like it's very like you can barely see what's going on. If I turn this off a little bit, like there, oh wait, there, you might be able to see a little bit clearly. So just like that. And now, well, what we're gonna do with these little tips here is just fold this over. You just fold them over here, and then kind of go over, fold them behind, fold them behind here, and kind of open up this pocket here. And just put just put it inside like that. So it might be a little difficult, but like that. So you just put it, so you just fold it behind and put it inside there. That's basically it. Okay, you do the same thing here. Fold that over, fold that in. Open up there and just put it inside like that. So now to kind of just fold in the landing gears, you want to fold them about how, so you obviously want this to be parallel. So let's see, fold it how far you don't fold it past here, because then it's just gonna go inside the fuselage. So just fold it something like there and fold it parallel, and then you can just, if you want to retract them, you just open that up and you just put it inside like that. It's very simple. Just like that, and yeah, you just pop it back out if you want to have them out. So that's pretty much that, and repeat the same process. And again, try not to go past that, or you can just fold it just on that and make it parallel, and just make sure that it tucks in. Okay, I could go a little bit further in actually, but that's fine. Okay. Yeah, okay, so now what you want to do now is just crease the wingtips in about, I would say about here. Just approximately here. It's kind of a judgment fold, so you do what I will think will look the best. So I'm gonna do like that, and then just kind of open up here, fold it behind again, and just fold it over so that locks the front, And now to lock the back, this is where it gets kind of tricky, but what you're gonna do is basically you're gonna curve this in behind this flap right there. So you're gonna kind of curve it into itself, basically, like so. Yeah, just like so. So then it should stay pretty firmly in there. Okay, so just repeat the same thing here, and I'm gonna just judgment fold. Yeah, just like that, and then open up there, fold it in, close the back, and kind of, yeah, just kind of curve this in to that edge, like that. And now we flip it over, and now we're just gonna create the tail fin. So the tail fins are actually very original. So you fold from this intersection here, fold from there straight down to there. Same thing here, just fold it straight down. And fold it on top of itself, like that. And it's kind of similar to the other doubled tail fins, but this one's slightly different. So now you just fold this up and just kind of fold this up and just fold this down. So you fold this flap down and you just fold this up. So like so. And you push it on. That might be a little bit confusing for some on the first try, but it's really not that hard. Okay, so now here comes the magic. So you fold this up on top of the edge behind it, like that. Just fold this on top of itself, basically. And what you're gonna do is swivel fold from that point there all the way to there. We are creating a locking mechanism. So just fold that to there and fold it back down. Same thing here, swivel that up, like that, fold it down, and now you turn it over here to its side, and as you can see you have a flap here, and that flap we need to wrap it to the other side. So you just kind of pop open here, like that, and just kind of pop it out like so. And flatten. And make sure this flap here is constantly folded to that direction. But just like that. Now, if you're planning to lock the plane by putting this flap inside of here, then you don't have to do it on this side. But if you're unsure of like which way, then you can just go ahead and do both sides, but it's not really necessary if you're just gonna do one side. So for me, since this is gonna be the flap that I'm folding behind, I'm going to fold this up like that, and I'm going to do the same thing here, but I'm going to flip this up like that and then fold this down like that, and then flatten. Oh, okay, so now to create the tail fins, you're just going to fold approximately a third from this point to that point, and you're just gonna try to imagine that, right, go across there. So it will be like that approximately, and you make it parallel to the body like that. And just to make sure, you can flip it in half and just kind of match the tail fin. Like that. And now you want to open up here and sort of squash this down from this point there, from there to there. So you squash that, and then you want to swivel this out, this flap here. You swivel that out from that point all the way to there, and you just flip it like so, and you just want to fold along the edge right there. So it will look like that. So now you just tuck it in there, well, just like so. And do the same thing here. Swivel that out. Fold that in. And you can just fold these over as well. And now what we do is we flip it over, and you're just gonna fold along here. We're almost finished at this point, like that. And to fold the air intakes, I wouldn't recommend you fold along this crease here, because you want to have much keel to hold on to. So what I suggest you do is fold from that point right there, and fold it, I would say, right on top of there. I mean, if you want, you can go a little bit beyond, depending on how big you want the air intakes to be. I mean, the engines, but something like this is fine. So now keep it like this, flip it over, and fold up right here for now, because you're going to fold this down right here until it catches basically, yeah, this point. So you want to fold it like that to the tip, and you squash fold this out on top of itself like that. And now you want to fold the tip in here just a little bit like that, and close it back just like that. Same process here, like that. Squash and swivel that out, fold the tip in a little bit, and close it. And now just go ahead and fold this whole tail fin section right over, basically just here. Like that. And you also want to fold in, oh wait, before you do that, go ahead and real quick fold this down just real fast, because I forgot to do something, and that is to fold these from that point to right there to that edge. Like so. This just gets rid of some paper, and it opens up these air intakes here. So now you're able to fold these over like that. Same thing here. Now, if you feel like these are sliding down, like the landing gear, you can take a tool and kind of twist this little flap here. You just want to kind of twist it inside itself, and then it will hold it better. Like I said, this is just the fastest and the easiest way to do that. So if you feel like it's like hanging, then feel free to redesign this part. So yeah. Okay, so now you can just fold this down, fold these in like that. Fold these back over like that, and now you can begin to jet fold it. So just fold down here, just kind of bend here like that, and just carefully jet fold it. Be very careful to not tear the nose. Jet fold it all the way to there. And just take each side and just kind of work it in a position and just close it slowly. Like that. Like that, and just really crease here sharply, very sharply, because it's very thick here, very thick. So like that, and now just open up the lock like that, slide that in, get it all the way in as best as you can. It's a little difficult sometimes. Yeah, like that. Yeah, then you go in here, and you just want to fold this up as far as you can. So just fold it all the way up into the model. And again, just give it another sharp crease. And now just begin to fold everything up here, like that, like that. And fold it down again. And here you can see the beautiful shape that it has. Kind of flatten it out a little bit. And straighten out the tail fin. Fold out the landing gear. Approximately here. And squash open the intakes like that. Right there. And just kind of give them a nice little square shape, or however you prefer. Fold down the landing gear like that. Open up the afterburners. Like so. And just continue to shape the plane until you until you're satisfied. And if you want to give it a little bit more of a like a smooth kind of angle here, you just kind of fold this in a little bit. Just kind of fold this in a little bit. You don't have to fold in too much. Just a little bit. I mean, it's up to you however you want to shape this part, but generally I like it like this. And to retract the landing gear, you just pretty simply just slide them into there. And they surprisingly hold very well in there too. But you can always go back and modify however you prefer it to be. It's completely up to you however you want to fold the landing gears and such. But yeah, that's how you retract the landing gears. And that's it, guys. That is the venture. Hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. I know it took a little bit. I mean, it took a very long time, like longer than it ever needed to take. But I was really trying to dial this plane into perfection as much as I could, and it's still kind of unfinished, to be honest, because I was very tired of keeping this this plane. I was very tired of waiting to post this airplane, so I just decided to finally go ahead and do it. So there are some small things that could be improved, but overall this is the way you fold this airplane. So feel free to go back and modify this if you have any other ways of folding it, and please use the base that I was for this airplane. It's very useful. So yeah, it's completely up to you however you want to fold that. But yeah, here's the answer, and hope you enjoy. I hope you enjoy folding, and peace out.